Hey everyone, it's Leanne, and this is my first message to you since the new year. As you can hear my voice, well, some of you don't know because I have a lot of new subscribers for the new year. So some of you might think I'm a heavy smoker or something, but I'm not. I'm actually a pretty healthy person. I was just really sick, and I actually lost my voice over the holiday. Actually had to extend my vacation in New Jersey because the doctor wouldn't let me fly. I had a really bad upper respiratory infection. I was wheezing and who knows what else. I couldn't breathe. So I'm glad to have my voice back mostly. And you'll excuse me if I cough once or twice during this video. Um, but I wanted to share. I wanted to share so many things with you already since the beginning of the year, and I'm so glad that I get to talk to you now. And so let me back up a little bit. I just came back to my computer. My son finally went down to bed. It's like 11 o'clock at night. He actually fell asleep exactly at 11 o'clock, which is way too late. His bedtime is like 7 8 p.m. So anyway, I come back to my computer, and there's there's a YouTube open and a video of cows mooing, which is just kind of funny because before he fell asleep, he was actually we have this little cow in the kitchen. It's not a kid's toy. It's like a display thing or whatever, and he was running around the house with it. And we were trying to show him, the moo sound, and he's going, and he's 17 months old, by the way. And so I opened up YouTube and I pulled up a video of cows mooing. So that's what I saw when I came back to my computer. Anyway, I'm sitting here in my office. My office is actually a mess. You can't tell in this video, which is really good. But there's stuff all over the place. I actually haven't even unpacked yet. It's just been like, I got back. I was still sick. Then I finally got back to work. My babysitter came in one day. The following day, her son was so sick that she had to take him to the doctor. She couldn't come in. So for me, it's just been like trying to catch up, trying to do everything. And meanwhile, there's a lot of stuff happening with the business that I'm in. I know that, you might be in the same business, you might be in another business. But for me, there's a lot of stuff going on in the new year. There's an event coming up. And so I've just been literally in catch-up mode, which is not the greatest thing. But I have put some time towards my goals, especially my health goals starting out. And I want to talk to you about goals, and I want to talk to you about other things. And meanwhile, speaking of health, I'm sitting here eating this yogurt, which is actually expired last year. It expired on the 30th of December, but still good. I don't know how yogurt can go bad because yogurt is like bad milk, right? So how can it get any worse than that? Unless it becomes cheese, which I actually really like. So anyway, back to the topic of the new year and setting goals. And I was just thinking about this Michael Jackson song. I actually went out to my wife in the kitchen. She's working in the kitchen, and I was like, "Hey, that song by Michael Jackson that goes, I'm looking at the man in the mirror." And I was like, "What's the name of that song?" She said, "Man in the Mirror." So anyway, I don't know if you know that song or if you even like Michael Jackson, but I love the words of that song, at least the ones that I remember, which is basically that. He says, "I'm looking at the man in the mirror and I'm asking him to change his ways." And then he goes on to say, "If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change." And it's so true. In anything, if you want to improve something, you have to improve yourself. And that's the same thing that I've been, listening to a lot of audios on leadership. And that's the same thing that everyone says. And if you haven't heard from me before, then you'll hear this a lot. I'll say, when you hear something over and over again, it kind of means something. Okay, it means it's probably something you ought to pay attention to. And so I keep hearing this thing of changing yourself and improving yourself in order to make the world a better place. And in order to make anything better, you've got to work on yourself. You've got to build yourself up. And interesting, because it almost seems like the opposite, right? Because Zig Ziglar says, if, and the quote escapes me now, but the gist is, you can have anything you want in life as long as you help enough other people get what they want. And it seems the opposite, right? But it's not, because as long as you work on yourself and you focus on helping others, you can have anything you want. So back to goals. You like how I'm skating around the subject? Back to goals. And actually, before we get to goals and how we're going to talk about that, I want to share something with you about myself. And this is really interesting. I don't know if you know this. I was very introverted as a kid. In fact, my wife would say I'm still very introverted. I'm definitely an introvert in that I prefer to sit down and read a book than to go out to a party. I don't necessarily. Yeah, I'm fine in social situations now, but I don't necessarily enjoy them over sitting down quietly and reading a book. So that's just kind of me. And I can remember when I first got into online business, and this was my first foray into network marketing, into direct sales, was this company, and I went to the events, and I went to this event, and I remember just sitting down and being really shy. When people get up and get energized and dance and all of that during the events, I would just kind of sit down, or I might stand up and look around and kind of like nervously. And I remember there were, always people around me who would jump up and they were really energetic. And I would look at them and I would think, wow, I wish I could be like that, but I'm not, right? And then what's interesting is I started working on myself more. And I remember I actually went to an event hosted by Jonathan Budd. I don't know if you know who he is. Really, really great guy. Such a beautiful person. And actually, I didn't know much about Jonathan Budd, except I was invited there by a group of friends who were selling something from the stage, and I was going to be teaching the thing that they were selling. That was actually a mobile marketing course, and so I was invited. And in the midst of his Unstoppable Entrepreneur course, I decided that I was going to do something different. I was going to go up on stage and dance when I had the opportunity. I was going to get up and be energetic, and I was going to energize the people around me. And as I changed that about myself, I realized that in a way, it was my responsibility to help the people around me. And in another way, I realized that I could be anything I wanted to be, which was profound for me. And later on, a few years later, I started working, and those of you who have followed me for a while, you've heard me talk about Morty Lefko in the Lefko process. I'm actually studying that now to be able to help other people. But basically, it's this idea of beliefs shaping your life. And as a kid growing up, up to age 5, 6, you create all these beliefs about yourself. And actually, this continues throughout life. But these are, self-esteem beliefs that you create about yourself through interactions with your parents. And so many people have, a majority of people in the world have these beliefs, and they're limiting. And so you grow up thinking that you're a certain way, and you can't change it, because you've molded yourself and you say, well, this is how I am. Well, in fact, you were there before you molded yourself. It's kind of this funny thing. You're like the creator of your life. You're the creator of your belief system. And when you realize that, you can step back and say, well, you know what? This belief here is not serving me. I'm going to step back and I'm going to change it. And I'm going to make something else of it. I'm going to be somebody else. And when I started doing that in my life, then things drastically changed. Drastically. And so I want you to have that. I want you to have that. And we're going to be working on that this year. But first of all, I want to work on your goals. So we need to set goals, and we need to figure out a way to get there, because how many times have you set goals and not achieved anything? Maybe not even taken the first step, and you don't know why. And there's so many aspects to it, right? There's the how to set proper goals. And then there's the aspect of how to set up a plan for your goals. And then there's this idea of how do you create habits that create your goals? How do you know what habits to create? How do you stay motivated? And how do you get rid of the beliefs that keep you from achieving your goals? In other words, what is every single thing that you need to achieve your goals this year? Your goals in health, your goals in happiness, your goals in wealth, your goals in relationships, your goals in any part of your life. So that's what I want to talk about. And I'm going to do a call for you. Okay, so I'm going to do a call for you. And I'm going to do something with this video. I talked for so long. I don't know why. I've been craving talking to you and reaching out to you, and I haven't had the voice to do it. And so here's what we're going to do. I don't know yet when this is going to be. So underneath this video, click on the link or do whatever it says. Okay, I'll make sure it's not too long. Just read what it says, do what it says, and sign up for the call. Okay, sign up for the call. because I want you there. I want you there. And I'm really looking forward to working with you and helping you. And I don't care what you're looking for. Actually, I emailed out my list, and you might have received this email where I asked, what are your goals for the year? And I got so many beautiful responses, and I just can't wait to work with you. If you sent me a response, just thank you for opening up to me and sharing what you shared. And if you didn't get a chance to, you can send it now, okay? But let's do this. Do whatever it says underneath this. There might be a button or a link. Sign up for the call because I want you to be there. I want to help you get what you want this year, okay? I love you. I can't wait to work with you, and I will see you on the call. Bye, everyone.